All right, so Senna's up, Senna Nautilus. We're still on this bullshit, even though we're on patch 14.5 now. Callisto Renata and Talia. Okay, so Ari going to be picked into Talia. Kind of difficult. She gets a good E down. Volibear band, Sejuani, and Jin Zhao band. Renekton, and okay, they're going to take a... Interesting. I mean, Poppy's good into Lee Sin. And Ari, you can also block not hook with W.
That being said, Jat is heading over to the casting desk because he will be casting that game for them, for us. So,
yeah.
What do you feel about the draft? That's going to be a Rumble locked in for NRG.
Yeah, the Rumble is interesting. I want to see if he is able to get pushed.
Rumble. So Rumble is a preferable matchup into Renekton because as long as you trigger Flame Spitter when he comes all in on you with stun, your Q keeps ticking through his stun. So you have that opportunity to continue to deal damage. It's very hard for Renekton to trade versus Rumble.
Versus FlyQuest. It's going to be a lot of fun here.
And hitting again one time on the playoff implications here. The Cloud9 loss actually means a FlyQuest win guarantees Cloud9 won't be first place. So the super team getting first place that everyone predicted before the split could end here in this game. This is a replay of what happened as we were loading into the game. Palafox checking that bush. So the super team getting first place that everyone predicted before the split could end here in this game. This is a replay of what happened as we were loading into the game. Palafox checking that bush. Has to burn his flash early. On the side of NRG, a win will lock them into at least a tiebreaker for top 6. So nothing crazy is going to happen this game, but it will definitely greatly increase FlyQuest's chances for first with the win. And NRG really wants to secure a top 4, which is going to require a lot of wins for the rest of the weekend.
And the funny thing is, INT just won over Cloud9, and they had won in the first round robin. NRG also won over FlyQuest in the first round robin. So we'll see if the continuation of fate is there, as Masu and Busio taking a pretty hefty trade in the bot lane.
So Thinkar put out this.
Okay, so delayed invade. They know Ari has no flash. So pretty annoying that they can just take this. Inspired hits 2, starts the invade.
Tough one. Chat, who's gonna win? Is it FlyQuest or NRG?
Have you seen the guns on Dokla though? Like I don't know.
Also a pretty big guy though.
And Dokla was sick yesterday.
Inspired's also kind of jacked.
He is. It's like subtly jacked. He's like the fit jacked.
I feel like it might be FlyQuest. I don't know.
Well, hopefully we'll get a consensus of the community and see who they think would win in an actual fist fight. But we're getting a little fist fighting on bot side. I really like this focus from Masu and Busio. Something they have been focusing on is 2v2s and finding a lot more consistency in that fact. And playing up like this with the Renata Callisto is good to start.
I mean, this start is really, really good for FlyQuest. Obviously, they get the flash off of Palafox. They invade with the Poppy Talia, push contracts off that side of the map. Now they
Very good start for FlyQuest here. Love the delayed invade.
Rumble. He wants to play aggressive. If your jungler is pushed out of the top quadrant, you don't get to play.
Yeah, it's actually huge they get that flash, guys, because then he can, Inspired's able just to push up. That means that you can't play aggressively as the Rumble. Palafox is, just takes a nice little trade right there. Not going to get stunned. Isn't close enough to the wall, but still pretty decent. Not Zumba Gaming. Thank you for your tier 1 subscription. Just finished 4 Horsemen. Was kind of weird to not really hear too much about Scoots. Well, I mean, he was not the main character of EG at that time. It was Alex Garfield. So.
Because Inspired showed for that gank mid lane, but more so it was just really clean execution there by Huhi and Contracts. Lee Sin hasn't been a huge part of the meta, so I think a lot of times people disrespect his ability to gank as Jensen gets fairly chunked out.
Still has ENW, doesn't feel like using them. Yeah, but honestly, this is pretty crazy that this even happens. I mean, he just gets flash hooked, right? That's pretty terrible from Fly's bot lane. They actually just get straight up killed going for that ward.
The fear game with Inspired doing that gank. Honestly,
and you have to be aware that he's down there because remember the jungle pathing was he got pushed out, right? So I mean, they are not respecting the fact that he could be right there. The Lee Sin could be right there.
knowing that he doesn't have the flash.
Palaflox was staying far enough away from the wall. He didn't lose the fear game.
Remember that he was delayed on the camps as well.
Honestly,
Ooh, flash.
The other thing that happens is that you see Inspire coming back down, and they have a ward on Raptors, so they know now that he's not covering bot, and that's what triggers the attempt at the all-in.
Flash play. Nice little lollipop hook there as well.
But pretty disrespectful of Fly's bot lane, I think.
First blood goes over. The biggest thing that Masu and Busio did not want to have happen is early death in the bot lane, and here we are.
and this is partially because Inspired showed for that gank mid lane, but more so it was just really clean execution there by Huhi and Contracts. Lee Sin hasn't been a huge part of the meta, so I think a lot of times people disrespect his ability to gank as Jensen gets fairly chunked out.
I've got to say, I feel like it's a pretty big mistake from FlyQuest bot lane to actually be dying there. They have basically full info of where Contracts could be. Inspired crosses, so they
Yes.
Inspired starts top quadrant. They know that Contracts is starting.
He could literally only be maybe at
Inspired crosses
red
mid,
buff
goes to
or
contact quadrant.
Krugs.
Nowhere else he could be except there. Like there's
Yeah.
literally nowhere else
He could have been a red buff or Krugs, to be fair, but then he's behind you and you still don't want to play up. Like, they're trolling.
It works. So they
Inspired gets trolled by this bot lane a lot, guys. Like, they do shit that doesn't make sense based on what Inspired is doing or what the game's win conditions are.
From Busio and Masu in the bot lane.
Yeah, and it looks like they even had a ward in that tribe rush as that gank was happening. So part of it is, I really do want to see it again to see how much they saw versus how much the hook landed, and then Lee Sin came out of fog in terms of the execution. But losing both summoners, having the ward, and then also giving up first blood is a big blunder.
Yeah, it definitely is. Cleanse also we saw there burned by FBI. Definitely something to return to though, but that's where I want to focus in a little bit more on what this mid game can look like as we come to at least
So-
coming down on the bottom side, because Busio and Masu need to be
Curious if this is going to be Q-Max.
and right now they're being pushed in.
Callista again.
Jensen don't want to get solo killed by the genius mid laner in Palafox.
I mean, I think across the board, FlyQuest do need.
No, it's still Rend Max.
Successful because
Interesting.
you don't look at an individual champion and say, wow, when this
So we did see the Q-Max opportunity, Callista, into Lucian Nami from Pays in the T1 versus Gen G game after Rend was nerfed.
Especially given how good their level 1 was. His Blip was
Solo bolo for Big Dokes.
Man, I have got to say, FlyQuest side lanes, I mean, especially given how good their level 1 was, his Blip was
Solo ball.
trades, even though he's keeping his
Yeah, what happened there?
okay, is not the best start for FlyQuest.
Yeah, definitely.
So he walks into Flame Spitter. What's he doing?
Even though he's keeping his CS up okay, is not the best start for FlyQuest.
Yeah, definitely.
So he walks into Flame Spitter to auto a minion that he doesn't kill. Continuously gets Flame Spittered.
How good their level 1 was.
Comes in, Qs the wave, but he Qs before he has rage. So,
Solo bolo for Big.
Up okay.
okay.
I have got to Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially given how good their level 1 was, his Blip was
The best start.
Was that his
Yeah,
W?
definitely. I mean, especially given how good their level 1 was, his Blip was
Seems like right here they had some Mazael games casting. I didn't see his W, guys. Was his W there? It's hard to tell in the Flame Spitter.
definitely. I mean, especially given how good their level 1 was, his Blip was
I don't know what happened to his W.
Big Dokes.
Man, I have got to say, FlyQuest side lanes have completely thrown away what was such a good level 1 play. Like, look at how screwed Contracts is. Contracts
His W is on 8. Oh, was it? Would they click on him?
Not the best
What the
start.
fuck? He's just trading without his W? What is this? He's literally,
The CS up okay is not the best start
he's
for FlyQuest.
walking in. I guess he thinks because Poppy's there that he's safe, but he's walking into a rumble with Ignite, and he's got 11 seconds on his slice and dice, 12 seconds on his W, and he has not enough rage. So he just gets barbecued, goes back into Q. Now he has rage, but he has no slice and dice. What the fuck, man?
I have got to say, FlyQuest side lanes have
Thought he would hit 6 with the wave?
level 1 was, his Blip was
Oh, yeah, but he still dies, I think.
Man, I have got to say,
I mean, he could hit 6, but I don't think he lives. He has no cooldowns.
Good level 1 play. Like, look at how screwed Contracts is. Contracts is so far behind in the pace of the jungle. He's down multiple camps and gonna be all these grubs going over to Inspired. Good level.
If he kills all the minions, he hits it, but he's not going to kill all the minions. And even if he hits 6, I still think he dies, guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially given how good their level 1 was. His Blip was
He's not anywhere close to killing all the last 2 caster minions.
I have got to say, FlyQuest side lanes have completely thrown away what was such a good level 1 play. Like, look at how screwed Contracts is. Contracts is so far behind in the pace of the jungle. He's down multiple camps and gonna be all these grubs going over to Inspired.
Dude, Inspired is playing this fucking game on like nightmare difficulty. It's so crazy how hard his team has trolled him.
He's scrapping against the Rumble, who has the Ignite. You never want to take that fight. He pays for it. The bot side dies. Contracts is going to be able to get Dragon and get back into this. That is really tough. We'll see if they can punish Dokla here, though, as he comes back to lane.
I mean, Inspired, I think, would have been seen by that wave, so Dokla's going to know exactly
They want to try to cut him off. He has equalizers, so he could equalize the wave, but then you can't walk back to the tower. So it's actually really kind of difficult here.
Oh god, it's so difficult. They are getting the dragon on the other side of the map, so they'll have that first infernal dragon.
Yeah, that's fine. You can lose a wave and a plate here if you're getting Drake.
Dissect this top lane is going to be difficult for NRG.
Yeah, well, currently Palafox is going to move up, and the fact that he's missing from mid is going to allow Dokla to walk up, plus it saves his equalizer. So I think a quality play by FlyQuest given the circumstances, but I want to go back.
I think we have to ask the question, was Ignar the GOAT? Ignar, secretly OP.
And then both gave up individual mistake kills to their lane opponent. Those are really big momentum shifters in the grand scheme of the game, because what is now an even game should really be at least a 1,000 gold advantage for FlyQuest if they're playing their matchups accordingly.
And now that we get to it, I think this is an interesting conversation to have, because
How come Rumble doesn't ult the wave if he's zoned off? He was too far away to ult the wave right there because he was getting caught. He was getting intercepted by Poppy. But he could ult the wave, but I think he just wants to hold on to his ult. Oh, he missed Charm. Palafox.
a big keeper's verdict there from Inspired.
Yeah, I mean, Inspired is basically an advantage.
Dude.
NRG have completely
Dude.
turned that on its head and might do so again here and find advantages, but NRG have completely.
Can't miss that. Can't miss that. Can't miss that.
Turn that on its head and might do so again here. Nice little flashes back and forth. A big keeper's verdict there from on his head and might do so again here. Nice
He actually you shouldn't be able to sidestep that, guys, and he doesn't sidestep it. You have to be able to hit that, guys.
on his head and might do so again here. Nice little flashes back and forth. A big
Palafox missed
keeper's
that.
verdict there from Inspired.
Yeah, I mean, Inspired is basically a full level ahead of where Contracts is right now. That was the advantage they got from all this great early level planning, but it just hasn't really meant too much. And Dokla now, as this equalizer is available and his Ignite's going to come back up, once the Ignite is ready, Blippo basically just can't interact in this lane at all. You know, he is really going to be on the back foot, so it's going to make things pretty tough for him.
I do think that was a fairly big miss there by Palafox, though, doing the flash charm, or rather the charm flash, and then not even burning a summoner spell from Jensen. So at least mid lane is stable currently for FlyQuest, but I think overall Energy should be fairly comfortable for this. I am wondering, though, about the bot lane pressure, because we've seen so much of the Senna roaming and laning top lane or going for grubs. They haven't really been able to do that this game just because the Kalista Renata pressure has been so immense.
And we talked earlier about trying to get this bot lane ahead for FlyQuest at all, but now that we're getting past the level 6 marks, I need to see that proactivity from Jensen and Inspired specifically, and the Talia actually getting out on the map.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can do it. Inspired is here. Again, he is level 6, and they could look to try to set up a dive. There's no TP available from Palafox to try to answer.
They really want to go for it.
They don't know where Contracts is the biggest problem.
I'll definitely say it's a pretty shaky start to the final week of the regular season for FlyQuest. Coming into the week with sole possession of first place, losing the game yesterday, having a few miscues early today against NRG. They definitely don't want to relinquish the pressure here and give up their #1 slot.
This is actually a small thing, but it made such a difference. Contracts walk through lane over to Krugs instead of through the jungle to red buff. If you spot on that pink, they would have likely gone for the dive. They may still do it, as they haven't seen him in a long time. They're going to look for it anyway.
They get the wall bang on FBI there as well. Busio sets up with the hostile takeover. Inspired's going to flash out of there. They are having a little bit of trouble taking down Huhi here. He got a lot of Ren stacks, but it's not going to be enough. Finally, it goes down. What would be Godzilla finally killed in FlyQuest on the board.
They're still sticking to their original game plan as the fight happens top lane as well.
Revenge, that's a big old croc, as Bwipo just taking that trade in Dokla.
Nicely done by Bwipo there. Gets the equalizer, gets the ignite. It is Contracts behind him. I think he just very briefly may have gotten vision of the fact that Lee Sin was in the area, but is going to play it safe because a Rumble walking at you.
Got to cleanse my body next week by getting that factor healthy meal weight going. Oh, good.
The votes are in. 65% of people thinking NRG would win.
Wow, all right. I'm not going to say I was a good salesman for Dokla having muscles, but you know.
Well, I think the fact that ThinkCard is the one who asked the question means he liked their chances. You're not just going to walk up and ask if you're going to beat Mike Tyson in a fight.
Bias-based analysis, I like it. Bwipo has found himself in an alcove gameplay situation.
I mean, he has no ult.
Inspired is here with the keeper's verdict. I don't think he's going to be able to get it going for him, and unfortunately, Bwipo will fall yet
Charm
again.
hits.
Inspired gets charmed, throws up the Teemo thumbs up back and forth, but FlyQuest falling down early in top side.
Yeah, nice roam here from a lot of the NRG members. They're going to turn this into a grub take as well, very likely. They not only get the kill, they're going to get at least one plate. They're likely going to take grubs. They're actually looking for a re-invade, though, instead here on Inspired, who has no flash.
Just trying to keep the tempo up on Inspired. They'll actually be able to do so and steal away this blue buff. TP does come back towards top side of the map from Jensen. Don't think there's going to be any contest up here, though.
Yeah, the level advantage is also gone completely. Contracts a level up on Inspired as they go for grubs.
This is actually so.
There's such a good start from FlyQuest. This is depressing.
So really feeling like it's going to be a lot of scrapping around that top side. Rushing a support item, we'll see if it works out.
Oh, Huhi tries his best Spider-Man impression, but can't get the wall there as Contracts and FBI trying to escort him out. FlyQuest just don't have the sticking power yet. The grubs were the contest, though.
Yeah, Energy gets one, so they'll prevent.
I factor for Holy Arrows cry when you guys got spots. Could have been saving cash each week. Well, sorry.
He's looking to guide him out here, though. That's a lot of Ren stacks in Dokla. Who's going to take him out? Big Dokla.
The 6 grubs, but I think Inspired should be able to walk.
All right.
Trying to escort him out. FlyQuest just don't have the sticking power yet. The grubs were the contest, though.
Yeah, Energy gets one, so they'll prevent the 6 grubs.
He just actually just gets run down in the river.
Get rid of the rest of them. Dokla, though.
He's looking to guide him out here, though. That's a lot of Ren stacks.
He just goes in. He just goes in. Okay. What the fuck is going on in this game? What a fucking weird set of games.
Against the champion recently, underestimating his damage once in the top lane by Bwipo and definitely in the bottom lane there by Masu. Maybe they just had his flash.
I like how he goes back in. That's my favorite part.
Dokla made that kill look quite easy.
Yeah, I mean, you have got to respect Rumble, especially when Rumble overheats. The amount of damage that's coming out is actually crazy from this champion.
He doesn't even bother to like flash or anything. He just accepts death.
Busio Inspired looking for an angle. Dokla didn't leave. He's probably dead. He's got no flash.
He does not have the speed up here, and Dokla gets taken out, and it's by Bwipo who gets the shutdown.
Yeah, big shutdown there. Dokla, I think, feeling himself being 3-0 in this game.
A little bit greed. 600
gold is a lot to give back over to the Renekton, who they really did have in a bad position. The Poppy Renekton, I don't think we're going to be able to win any 2v2s against the Rumble Lee Sin. That'll change a bit with that 600 gold shutdown.
Yeah, definitely a mistake there. Some sloppy deaths throughout this game thus far. But NRG in a slight advantage at the end of the day. And those first item conditions
This really is a game of throws, guys. Like NRG really struggling early off of that level 1, and then FlyQuest just chucking all the advantages they got. By the way, if FlyQuest plays like this internationally and makes these kind of mistakes in their side lanes, they will get completely fucking bopped. There is no way you come back against a good team when you do things like this.
And I think NRG needs to go for this dragon right now as they're already set up for it. They have the Leandries. Dokla was just fogging. I'm a little surprised they're going back for one more mid-wave because they have the items at the moment to take the Drake, but I think they want to make sure they're in the right position here. And if Rumble's going to keep fogging down, he's going to lose a lot of pressure in the top lane. NRG should be stronger in a 4v4 though.
I love these mind games being played by Inspired in Contract. Meanwhile, mind games top side, they are completely diving Dokla. They don't get him. The last rock thrown by Jensen will end up securing the kill. Dragon started up by NRG.
I do really like that play by FlyQuest though. They decided that the Drake wasn't a priority, but they didn't completely tip their hand. They did try and stay around mid lane to make it seem like they wanted to contest it, and that's a good call by Jensen and Whippo to say, it's just the second Drake, we're a little behind in the game, we don't have the item power spikes, let's just get gold, go for the flashless rumble in the top lane. Not only do they get the kill, they
Nice
can
hook.
get turret plates too.
Oh, Masu just get
Masu!
As he gets the flash from Ahuhi, that anchor will take his life. An anchor.
Top lane, not only do they call by Jensen and Whippo,
He's recalling on Vision.
second Drake, we're a little behind in the game.
Remember who he is, a farming Nautilus. So literally just chain CCs this guy. He is so disrespectful. He doesn't use flash. He just uses cleanse. Masu is holding his summoners for next game every single time. He literally has died twice now with flash up.
With that death in mid lane, it's going to be the rotation down from the rest of the NRG members. They want to try to threaten.
And I think that's interesting to think about a little bit more so because of the veterancy on the top side of the map for FlyQuest and playing around maybe some of the deficits that have happened in the past in bot side. They still do have a lot of experience under their belt and finding ways to struggle their way out of things.
14 minutes in, still no item. Yeah, it's not looking great. Palafox forced to flash, so he doesn't get chain CC'd.
It's Inspired, right? This guy has won MVP in LCS, in LEC, and this is actually comparing how he is doing this split on the right to how he did last time he won the MVP in the LCS. Wow. And he is having another really good split. This guy has been performing, has been such a strong jungler in his time on the LCS, both with EG and now with FlyQuest as well.
Man, just a year between those two photos as well. New haircut.
A little bit of difference there, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, did you see him on pros? The fit of his jersey. He's got some pipes on him too.
That's what I'm saying. People are underestimating FlyQuest in the fist fight.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the important things here, Jack.
Yeah, we got to talk about the fist fight.
Listen, we're gonna wrap this all together.
We need more fist fight stats.
On pros, where he was showing off his biceps, he did talk about Masu and Busio, and I think that applies to this game. How they had that one game where they were killing the C9 bot lane over and over again. It seemed really amazing. That was the week Busio won Player of the Week, but Inspired was saying there's definitely a lot of games where they're not quite synced. Like they play aggressive when they shouldn't, and they play passive when they should be playing aggressive. And that can lead to a decrease in confidence over time. Yeah. What's happening in this game for me with Masu and Busio, they're just a little helter-skelter, right? They had clearly the ability to outplay FBI and Huhi 2v2 early. They died to that first gank. Then Masu tries to get it back. He overcommits on a Dokla. Then he gets caught in mid lane again. So it's going to be, I really want to see who Masu reacts to this because he is a little down and out through his own mistakes this game, and he needs to bounce back if they want to win.
Absolutely. I will say, if there's anything I would like to see from a rookie, I'd rather they're erring on the side of aggression and then just kind of tempering as they learn and they get that more experience. Because these are some very young players. These are two most valuable prospect players from the NACL, coming up into the LCS, playing together. This is obviously, that first big split for Masu. Busio here in his second year. But they need that time to grow, and I think you want them to be aggressive. You want them to play with confidence because they're two players who said they really wanted to play aggressive. They really wanted to go at people. That's what they were trying to accomplish in scrims. So we'll see if they can kind of polish that up and get it to a point where they can consistently do it on the LCS stage.
And in ACL, Masu was known for his aggressive plays, his flashes forward, even when he was playing on Wi-Fi and on an awful ping. So I think getting back to that confidence is something he's personally been working on this split. And I think when I was talking to him, the quickness of decision makings in the LCS has been really hard for him to go through.
Exactly. That's something that a lot of people will tell you is that when they go up into the LCS, it is very different. You start to realize that there are levels to these things. These players are going to punish moves that you didn't even know were mistakes, and you have to adjust over time with that playstyle.
We do get tower in the top side finally taken. It'll be 2 for 1 at least in terms of those objectives. But getting back to it, we do have refocusing.
All right, Cloud Soul, pretty huge. Pretty huge. Great on Rumble. Great on Ari. Great on Senna. Great on Nautilus.
Weirdly enough, don't need to be in a rush. There's a decent power spike for FlyQuest right now with the amount of magic resist they've been able to build. Like the early Hex Drinker there for the Renekton. Since when you really look at NRG's team composition, the Rumble and the Ahri are a large part of it, but the Senna and Lee Sin damage aren't a huge amount of physical damage burst, especially at this stage in the game. So there's decent itemization now with the lockup being completed as well by Busio's Renata. If there's a fight that NRG wouldn't want to rush into, I think it would be this next Drake.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of upfront damage. We have to be able to execute on that, get that kill early on, or it can start to peter off. Something else I know you wanted to kind of dive into, Jat, was not just the comparison between his MVP split, but inspired this split versus last split.
Right, because people forget about the splits in the middle, right? So last split, actually, he didn't lose a single game. And he got attacked.
Why are we trolling in the middle of this?
Right, because people forget about the splits in the middle, right? So last split, actually, he didn't lose a single game. And he got a tattoo. But here's Bwippo going.
Oh, man. Yeah, Bwippo's just caught in the middle of the conversation, maybe lost it a little bit. Now NRG are streaming forward.
His MVP split, but inspired this split versus last.
What's Bwippo doing?
Because people forget about the splits in the middle, right? So last split, actually, he didn't lose a single game. And he got a tattoo. But here's Bwippo going.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Okay.
Bwippo's just caught in the middle of the
He has no vision. He's just gonna walk into the enemy jungle
forward as FlyQuest pull away with the Fate's call.
and give them a third Drake.
By NRG, 1 second until the Drake spawns here. Bwippo would be able to teleport back. NRG not actually starting on spawn, instead just going for gold. Don't hit the wall.
Oh, okay. I thought he was gonna hit the wall for sure.
FBI's got the driver's license today, apparently. They don't seem to be going for that second charge.
Bwippo has TP,
Yeah, gonna walk it up. It should get that second charge. We'll get that chip damage down.
so they need to go ahead and be quick about taking this Drake.
They're over. They're onto the dragon, but
FlyQuest could contest this with the teleport. They'd
that
still
was a
have
bizarre
their Renata
TP.
ult.
Yeah, Jensen's a little far back. He does have the Weaver's Wall available if they want to cut something off. Nice charm on Amasu. He's going to have to bear on that cleanse immediately. Now, NRG should have the right of way to this dragon, but Jensen wants to cut off the rest of the team here. He's getting chunked. He gets bought back too, but that is big. He's still alive, gets bailed out as well. FlyQuest take one, and now they move
It's
on
fine.
the dragon, but it's already gone.
They controlled the choke point
Yeah, nice equalizer there from Dokkan.
with Senna ult and equalizer. They got 2 TPs out of it. They only lost 1 player, and it was Huhi, so
Team. So a pretty good
not a big deal.
FlyQuest is really even in position to get off of that. There's no minions mid, so it's not like they can trade for that. The tier 1 is already down top and bottom here.
Dragon, but it's all off the rest of the team here. He's getting chunked. He gets bought back too, but that is big. To bear on that cleanse immediately. Now NRG should have the right of way to this dragon, but Jensen wants to cut off the rest of the team here. He's getting chunked. He gets bought back too, but that is big. He's still alive.
Dragon they mid.
Right now,
Oh.
they're only a game away for winning this game against FlyQuest. It's really interesting to think that for everything, all the downs that NRG's had this split, as Palafox is playing fairly aggressive with his ult. They're only a game away from FlyQuest with a win. So much
Oh my
action,
god,
though. Wow.
what? They're giving me a little taste of the LPL here as we get a shutdown going over to Masu in the mid lane because they took down Palafox. Contracts was gone on the bot side. They can't get FBI. He's skating them around here, and he's got those shots. He wants one more. The
Ooh.
with another one, and that anchor's coming for them all.
Wow, what a sequence there. It looked like NRG was just going to lose everything around the map, and they would have. They still lost mid-jungle, but FBI and Huhi clutched up at the very end to at least trade 1 back.
And getting them so low actually buys time for Dokkan to potentially push up. You know, maybe he can get something down on this bot side. Doesn't have to be careful about Bwippo, but that bot tier 1 is very low. So that's some gold on the map they could look for. Nicely done there by FBI, chunking them out, trading back, getting a little bit something going there for the team.
Yeah, and just looking at the overall game state right now, it's super interesting because I feel like NRG is definitely going to be stronger in 5v5s. We're seeing that around Drake. When they set up, they're able to take it down. But Bwippo, even at 1 and 3, can threaten the Rumble. And then Jensen's having a really solid game picking up kills in the side lane. Watching this whole sequence one more time, this was some early trading in the mid lane.
Yeah. It was just a little bit aggressive there from Palafox. He wanted to use the last charge for that little bit more chip damage on Amasu, but Busio catches him with the handshake, and that's what prompts the engage. They know that he doesn't have any more ulti charges to get out, so they try to pile
Ooh.
in. They think they
That bone plating came up at just the right time as well for Renata.
They're gonna go again.
We just can't stop fighting.
What?
They know that he doesn't have any more ulti charges to get out, so they try to pile in.
Taliyah walls from Jensen have been very good this game.
Nice play there from FBI. They're gonna go again.
We just can't stop fighting.
Lols Naga, thank you for your tier 1 subscription. I appreciate
I
it.
mean, this is a sequence of the game where FlyQuest
There to go, Baron.
being very aggressive and being the initiators. They fight in the mid lane, they fight in the bot lane. During our replay, they fight again in the mid lane. They should very well try and force Baron, or at least play that way so NRG has to check.
Yeah, I thought they were going to try to at least force the TP from Huhi. Started up, get that out, but instead they are electing to actually just walk down and try to answer.
Stop
Can
it.
Renekton stop it? He does.
Does indeed. We get the little movement there from Huhi making his way out of there. But I think this is what speaks to some of that veterancy. Keeping your head in the game for FlyQuest, even though things were going so badly.
I mean, they do have a really good setup here for the Taliyah, obviously. You know, with the Renekton stun, point and click into the seismic shove. That is one target almost always just going to getting bursted down. And they also have great denial of engage with the Poppy as well as the Renata. You know, NRG can win these fights if they really make advantage of that initial engage. They get a great equalizer. They have the setup for that. But if you all funnel into one choke, all of a sudden you're walking into the Taliyah rocks. You're walking into the hostile take.
Yeah, but obviously a little bit back end of that one since he isn't farming as much. And that is where that kind of spike maybe plays into the hand of FlyQuest a little bit more. Those combinations may be easier to sync together.
Absolutely, and Masu, who we've talked a lot about this game, has bounced back.
Yeah.
3 kills now on the Callisto. Masu
To not view bot lane in a vacuum and trying to make sure that he can actually have say on the map after getting out of laning phase. And this is a nice little example of one of those situations.
I'm going to be interested to see if they're going to start putting more gold in the pockets of FBI, you know, start donating some more farm over onto him to try to accelerate him a little bit here. He obviously has been picking up a little bit of farm, but you want to try to give, you know, as much gold as you can to this guy at this point in the game. Because
Yeah, they don't need to keep farming Huhi at this point in time. I agree. They need to be farming the Senna if possible.
Much better than Berserker did last game, where he was down to like 60 or something like that around this point in the game, maybe even lower. So it was really striking to pick them up. And this is something that I think FBI is very comfortable on. This is one of his most played. He's played it 5 times. You know,
Renekton.
Oh, Bwipo just gets completely caught wanting, though. Everything's used to save him now.
I can't believe he lived through that.
most played. He's played it 5 times.
I cannot believe he lived through this.
Just gets
The Taliyah wall is so clutch. Even though Jensen gets knocked off of it, they cannot make the play because Jensen completely saves them. Contracts also kicks him out, which is problematic. But he gets completely comboed, WE comboed by Taliyah.
It just feels like Palafox has not been able to hit a charm on anyone. He keeps fishing, but they don't really have the lockdown besides Huhi. There's no point and click CC really for him to guarantee that charm. And they're just being able to avoid it. They commit in onto Bwipo. They think they can get the kill, but it gets turned around and Contracts gets burst down.
I mean, the fact that that play from Bwipo is what denied the soul,
That should not work.
Like he just blind walked into what
Down.
This should not work, guys. This is Jensen saving the play because this crocodile should 1000% be dead. Right?
He's played it 5 times. You know,
Renekton.
Bwipo just gets completely.
The kick though is weird. Like Contracts should not have kicked him because he actually gets moved out of the REQ. Right? The REQ doesn't do any damage to him and he's not low enough to actually die from it. You know, he's slicing and dicing through this, but there is no real Ahri damage. Which I don't know if there's no charm up.
very comfortable on. This is one of his most played. He's played it 5 times. You know,
Renekton.
Like, where's the charm?
Bwipo just gets completely caught wanting, though. Everything's used to save him now. Equalizer back, but it ain't gonna equalize anything because Masu goes on a rampage.
It just feels like Palafox has not been able to hit a charm on anyone. He keeps fishing, but they don't really have the.
Equalizer back, but it ain't gonna equalize anything because Masu goes on a rampage.
It just feels like Palafox has not been able to hit a charm on anyone. He keeps pick them up, and this is something that I think FBI is very comfortable on. This is lower. So it was really strict to pick them up. And this is something that
So there's the charm. That's why it's on cooldown, by the way.
FBI is very comfortable on. This is one of his most played. He's played it 5 times. You know,
Renekton.
So charm is on cooldown because he was fishing with it, so they do not have any follow-up CC. And the kick was used probably when it should not have been.
It just feels like Palafox has not been able to hit a charm on anyone. He keeps fishing, but they don't really have the lockdown besides Huhi. There's no point and click CC really for him to guarantee that charm. And they're just being able to avoid it. They commit in onto Bwipo. They think they can get the kill, but it gets turned around and Contracts gets burst down.
I mean, the fact that that play from Bwipo is what denied the soul, that's a little bit ludicrous. Like, he just blind walked into what
It's
felt
the
like
second time he's done that exact flank with zero vision, and Jensen bailed him out. And the fact that Ari didn't have charm and the kick moved him out of Ari Q. It's actually absurd that FlyQuest win that fight.
He had a vision. That's why he built the Mercury Treads and the Hex Drinker. But what?
That sounds
How did
about
that
Bwipo.
work?
I mean, yeah, it's been working pretty well for him. He ends up being pretty tanky. The rest of the team kind of piling in there to save him, and they don't have the burst damage to actually knock him down. So it makes it tough. FlyQuest now in a very good spot. NRG definitely were counting on being able to get that soul as a major win condition here, and now FlyQuest has bought themselves at the very least a lot more time to continue scaling up.
Can we tell who the Knight's Vow is on? Did he move it to the Senna, or is it still? It's still on the Renekton. Yeah, it is. Like, I can see it now. Inspired and Bwipo are still paired up.
There you go.
Hey, tried and true duo now, apparently. Baron already started about halfway, and
Callistic and Ren.
Contracts is on his way here. Equalizer goes down. Can Contracts get the 50-50? Cannot. Inspired clean. Hey, tried and true duo now, apparently. Baron already started about halfway, and
Callistic and Ren.
Contracts is on his way.
Mrs. Poppy ult, equalizer into the pit.
Equalizer goes down. Can Contracts get the 50-50? Cannot. Inspired cleans it up, and now he overextended himself. But Palafox wants to go in too. NRG are stepping forward. They want
And now the game is over, I guess. Because Bwipo sees an angle to go in. And they know that Palafox has no charges left. FBI has ult, but he flash W's him for the stun, then slice, and he gets a massive Q off. They chuck Renata Glaskin. I don't think you want to go in, Hui. Nope.
They might have heard that fist fight allegation and want more, but FlyQuest answer in kind with a haymaker.
FlyQuest just playing with so much more confidence and decisiveness. They just start the Baron. They're willing to flip it with the Ren Smite. They get it. They're re-engaging all these fights. They're really showing that right now NRG doesn't have enough physical damage to kill them. They have a lot of MR on the Renekton. He's able to play like a Giga Tank, and really FlyQuest have completely turned the game over.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job denying a lot of these engages as well from NRG as they pile in. From Inspired, we can watch this one more time. As they do go in, Inspired gets relatively low. The locket gets used. NRG want to look for the fight.
Good play by Bwipo. Makes up for some of his other plays.
Palafox, who has just been having so much difficulty getting involved this game.
Who he definitely did not want to go back in, guys.
Fight concludes the side laning of FlyQuest, even though it's hard to track in individual moments, has been hugely successful. There is a 3-level gap between Renekton and Rumble. There is a 2-level gap between Talia and Ari. So 5 cumulative levels across solo lanes because they're constantly able to push sides. The Talia is threatening, the Poppy's looming, and it allowed them...
Yeah, it's crazy, the level diff. 3 for Bwipo now, 2 for Jensen, 3 for Masu, and it's Hui who has the levels because he's been the one farming.
Putting them further and further behind. FlyQuest isn't allowing themselves to get caught out. When they fish, they're not really finding those kills. So then you just slowly fall further and further behind, and it builds up these big leads.
And I'm just sitting here watching Bwipo take multiple engages by himself to set up the team a lot of these times, and it's that decision-making that's making the difference.
He has 6 levels on FBI.
Jesus.
He's a big crocodile. One of those Florida
Is that enough to
crocodiles.
make like the full boots, or is it too much to handle? The croc is a big one here. I think when Bwipo has had, I feel like a resurgence in his own branding, but also his play this year. It's been really impressive to watch. A kind of meta trender.
Really? Are we complimenting Bwipo for this game?
The Weaver's wall in to block off the turret. The wall bang there from Inspired under tower onto Huhi. NRG are trying to fight back, but they lose one. The Crypt Bloom's starting to come in clutch here. Inspired will fall too. So it's a 1-for-1, but FlyQuest continue the siege with the Baron buff.
Yeah, really interesting sequence.
Wave
there.
clear is really pretty garbage
So quickly,
for NRG as well.
too aggressive. It shouldn't really matter though, since Bwipo can still just press R, be this 4,000 health threat, and they can pretty easily clear that inhib and then reset for Drake.
Exactly, and NRG's comp is so ulti-reliant. When there's no equalizer, there's no RE ult. Sure, they have a lot of people alive, but what are you going to do? Who's going to kill Bwipo in that situation? No one can get on him, but they haven't been able to do it. Also later today, Courage going to come in to see if the curse continues. He has never cast 100 Thieves to win a game.
He was looking at the schedule as well and be like, oh yeah, sure, we can be Shopify. Let me have that one.
I see.
We'll see. We'll see. There's been a
Shopify beat
There's
NRG.
To a point where every team is fist fighting every team. We're figuring out who can win those, I guess. But FlyQuest fist fighting pretty handily here in game 2 of the day, and it looks like they'll be able to take another dragon here too.
Abs3, thank you for your Twitch Prime sub.
has
Appreciate it.
85% chance.
I will always take your subscriptions, guys, if you are kind enough to give them.
140 souls, because then he can maybe win like an eye contact poke and like stop FlyQuest from.
A very specific
That's
amount of
very
souls.
specific. That's what I was going to say.
It's that make like the ability.
To have this the same entire game.
Yep.
And that is really the struggle here. Is they have
We're
to have
just
perfect
moving on forward in this game.
Even
There's
better,
not a whole lot
target
left
damage,
going on.
bailed out, if they can get that
Thank
ball,
you,
it's
Tori
tough
Black13.
to answer into what FlyQuest
I appreciate you as well.
And I return to the conversation that we were having where it's like last time around, the big focus was FlyQuest fell down early and they were never able to really get back in the game. They fell down early in this game, but it is a difference, I feel like, that we've seen the growth of this split that shows that they can just power through it.
And it's also, compositional, right? I think it's a strong draft. When you get into late stages, we're talking about energy, gotta find this perfect engage, gotta be able to find these angles. Well, Poppy is there to deny that. Busio is there to deny that on the Renata, and so is Jensen, with the unworked ground. So it's really difficult for energy to find anything. Like, how do you walk in here?
Yeah, it's very difficult. You see they're trying to pick through the mask here to find a way in.
If they go for it.
If Dokla just can get a big equalizer at least. There it is. Contract in the pick. Contract.
Oh, he stole it? Holy moly, Shobes. Thank you for the 10 community gift subs. That is very generous of you, Shobes. Welcome back. Let's take a look back at this steal.
Like, how do you walk in here?
As a matter of fact, FlyQuest's composition outside of this Redectin is pretty darn squishy. And Inspire just running around. He does hit the Poppy ult, but unfortunately the Baron has already been stolen. What was the big tick of damage on this thing? Oh, Masu's just trolling. Masu is hard trolling this game, guys. Masu is hard trolling this game. Like, he literally rends. What? What the heck happened to?
But so what I find interesting about this is
Nightwolf81, thank you for your gift sub as well. They actually just don't rend smite this, guys. Not sure what the comms are like, but you see... So the Senna ult comes over the top, right? And there's the rend. There's the rend, guys, and he rends it. He rends it before Poppy can ult, and they don't coordinate rend smite. Captain Hammer, thank you for your gift sub. I didn't press 0 on the number pad, no.
Don't know exactly how much damage it's going to deal, and they try to combine that with the smite. It does not work. Contracts
like,
kill, they get the
dude, Masu is 5-2 and 3, but the amount of griefing he has done this game is ridiculous. Like, his 2 deaths were absolute garbage.
gotta say, ridiculous Baron steal Contracts has had in as many weeks. He had one in their comeback against
The Poppy
Immortals
game
as
is-
well.
And like, I don't know what the fuck was going on in terms of their comms there, where he just rends randomly
Those 13 stacks.
without coordinating it with Inspired, while Inspired is clearly looking to try and use Poppy ult to get Lee Sin out of the pit.
Mistake there. I don't think it's going to matter that much. They should still be able to hold their Nexus from this, but they'll probably lose an inhibitor in a 5v4 here.
But don't let the stats and the fact that he has a 700 gold bounty distract from the fact that he has giga griefed this game.
You're struggling to find a defensive answer.
But so what I find interesting about this is, like, I want to credit FlyQuest with their ability to pilot their draft. Because I think a lot of teams could play Renekton Talia and think that it falls off a cliff.
Jensen has been the real hero of this
You have
game,
one
guys.
From early Renekton dives, you're done for. But they accrued such large advantages in setup before the fights that they allowed the fights to be successful. Watching this one more time, Palafox actually lands a charm here. It really throws a lot of chaos into FlyQuest because they can nearly take Masu out of the fight. It allows Contracts to just kind of fly into the pit. 500 health there on the Baron by the time he smites it.
Yeah, he steps in, gets the kick on Inspired. Inspired was trying to channel up the Poppycopter and knock him out. Now they maybe found another pick.
NRG were the ones that started that one off, and they're looking to finish it too. Nice little double knockup from Inspired, but here comes FlyQuest on the front to back. You gotta be really careful. Jensen's full health now. Whippo's healing up a storm. They've already got one. Give a double.
That was a nice try by NRG to try and deal with this game. Okay, Masu just dies in the front line for no reason. Get me out, man.
Such a close fight there. They could not.
He doesn't even have GA up.
First kill on Inspired, which will now just allow FlyQuest.
Whippo giving Razor Cake vibes this game.
2 for 1 so far.
Dude, he absolutely could have died and should have probably died on that soul play. Like, I don't leave this game feeling great about FlyQuest, besides Inspired. I mean, Jensen had a good game, but Inspired was absolutely trolled by Whippo and his bot lane this game. So frustrating to watch.
But definitely some lasting damage to NRG's base.
And now they can go right back towards this dragon here. Masu not up for a while. Who he's going to be up faster and with a TP, and Contracts is spawning now, but there's going to be supers coming in the top lane. They're going to TP deep. They're going to look for a flank, try to get the soul, and try to go for a Hail Mary.
But I think FlyQuest is going to try and go for the base, actually, because they have teleport on Jensen. They're going to try and split them up, whereas Energy's actually...
The amount of metaphors that somebody Insight has taught me over the last 10 years is staggering.
Jensen are just going to try to go for the end.
TPing, yeah, Jensen's in there like swimwear, baby, and they have an open Nexus turret waiting for them.
it's a
NRG
mess.
take down Busio, but here comes FlyQuest.
It's a fiesta.
Revenge for losing that first round robin against NRG, and it's at the hands of Whippo and Jensen to try to take down the last tower here. I don't think they can do it. Douglas burning into a crisp. 1,000. Give another 600 to Palafox.
It's total chaos. Who's trying to delay Masu and Inspired? They're going for the Drake. Inspired's here. I think
Contracts is coming back. He's
My
coming back.
God, this is absolutely insane. Look at all those.
Go, Contracts, go.
It hits him.
Surely you could outsmite 1 bazillion spirits. Masu messed up his rend again,
Oh my.
but there was nobody there to punish him this time.
Man. FlyQuest tried to go for the game ender. They probably could have just won the fight at the dragon, but they end up trying to go for it. Palafox ulted and flashed over the wall to try to get out of there. Now he's looking for the chase down here.
man.
He still has the charm.
He is so angry.
Dear Lord.
and
Dear Lord.
the charm on the Krug. What?
Why is the Krug there?
Inspired. Yo.
Chase down here. FlyQuest tried to go for the game ender. They probably could have just won the fight at the dragon, but they end up trying to go for it. Palafox ulted and flashed over the wall to try to get out of there. Now
Palafox actually triggers it.
he still has the charm.
He is so angry at Inspired here. And that's the charm on the Krug. What? Getting the kill in the end, but the Krug's tried to save FlyQuest's life.
That Krug is a paid actor. There is no way. Ran straight down into the wave. Protect the president. He's diving in front of Inspired.
This is some classic Energy League of Legends.
Yes.
They are in finals form, it feels like. They just make the teams fight in the dirt here. They are in such a grim situation at the moment with 2 inhibs and the sliver of a Nexus turret. But as FlyQuest was going for the end, Energy was able to get the pick. I'm surprised they were so unwilling to just commit to this Drake since they had 2 people back in base anyway. I think if they stay on that Drake in like a 3v2, they'd probably have Soul as well as this, but the fact that they recalled extra ended up costing them.
Yeah, the really difficult part is that you don't play these situations out often.
The shutdowns are enormous too, so NRG actually could still technically maybe win this game. GA's back up for Masu now. Mazel was a better caster to listen to than Rafa. Yeah. I mean, that's not surprising. Basil's a good play-by-play caster. He has a lot more experience too. I mean, the thing about going to LCS, guys, especially as a new caster, is that you do so few games that you just don't get a lot of reps. It's much better to be forged in the fires of LPL these days because you get to do so many games. It's like the hyperbolic time chamber for casting. You know, Mazel has probably done more LPL games in a single split, like 3 times more than Rafa has done LCS games in the last year.
I said that's one of the conditions of an energy comeback.
See, running it back a little bit.
One of the things that has to happen.
He has 8 bonus stacks. He's got stacks.
Oh my God, stacks for
Listen,
days.
he's doing damage now.
I mean, it's like when I was casting in Korea and I was doing 5 days of double best of 3s every week. You know, I did as many games in 2014 as probably literally, not joking, you guys, 5 to 6 years of LCS casts had I been on LCS. Because I was doing 10 best of 3s a week. And I had an extra split because we had winter split as well. So
They have multiple options. They just have to make sure they're not being too creative and trying to overforce. Whippo maybe going to get caught out here.
Oh, yeah. He's been a key the entire game, and they know to focus him. He goes right back in for the 1v4, but it'll go right down as FBI claims it.
Man, he flashed him.
oh man, he got the Q on Masu.
They actually take him down. Shutdown goes to Palafox. Nice keeper's verdict. Get a couple members out.
Good Poppy ult.
It actually means the FlyQuest want to turn back around. Face call used on the Dokla. They got a decent damage. They've got the flank here from NRG, and they might just turn it all around 40 minutes into the game.
No, surely Fly does not win this. Oh! Oh no! They lost the turret while during the TP.
But they're pinging down towards bot, but they have no TP now because who uses it?
If Palafox teleports bottom, they might have been able to get multiple turrets. Oh my God, they're gonna get Baron.
Well, that was who used TP, so Palafox didn't have TP, I don't
They actually, the inhibitor spawns at exactly the right time.
Their base should be
Oh my God. I didn't realize this game was such a mega fiesta, guys.
a little bit too complicated. And NRG are thriving in the chaos. There was so much going through that. When Whippo flashed back in, he was trying to do it for a big empowered Q on multiple people to get that heal and buy time. But the charm from Palafox caught him as he went in. He never got the Q off. He didn't get the healing through. Now Whippo's back. Double DP coming through.
No, you didn't recall. Why didn't you recall? Okay. Whippo's inting. He doesn't get hit by charm. Doesn't matter. Okay, now they get soul. Surely, right? Surely NRG win this game. Right, guys?
Crazy. It's still 3 members there. He pops the ulti, runs in. Sure, you have the GA, but now you're dead. When the dragon's going to be spawning, you probably just gave away soul for free, and you still have to be able to fight through the Nautilus. It's not like there's no one there to peel.
And they spent their double TP there. So every inhibitor is up. They had that as a backdoor threat this entire time.
This could still ult into the base potentially. So
Base Whippo TP to get tempo for soul. Yeah, genius, guys. Super good play by Inspired and Jensen there. Really nice.
Soul secured 4 Cloud Dragons in a row for FlyQuest.
Man, NRG were so slow to show up to that. Giveaways forcing like crazy. It's
Yeah, they all recall, which is... Like, why does Huhi have to recall here? Why does FBI have to recall?
Whippo is over forcing like crazy. It's still 3 members there. Sure, you have the
Shobes, thank you for another gift sub. Very generous of you.
You probably just gave away soul for free, and you still have to be able to fight through the Nautilus. It's not like there's no one there to peel.
And they spent their double TP there. So every inhibitor is up. They had that as a backdoor threat this entire time.
This could still ult into the base potentially, so they have to leave someone.
They have to kill this so fast, and NRG's a little slow checking. I think this could...
I just don't understand what the purpose of recalling everybody here is. All right, Palafox is low and has no mana, but why FBI and Huhi?
Crazy. It's still 3 members there. He pops forcing like you have the GA, but now you're dead when the
I mean, I guess he gets more armor
You
pen.
just gave away soul for free, and you still have to be able to fight through the Nautilus. It's not like there's no one there to peel.
And they spent their double TP.
Yes,
there.
I really need from Twitch while I'm trying to see the fucking scoreboard so I can look at what items they bought in this very critical moment of the game. Yep, I can't on Twitch. Yep, that's what I needed.
They have to kill this so fast, and
Fuck.
Energy's a little slow checking.
Fuck these social messages, guys. They're so obnoxious.
Little denial from Huhi. Yeah, that's it. The Rend is there, and Soul secured 4 Cloud Dragons in a row for FlyQuest.
Man, Energy were so slow to show
Thank
up
you.
for that. And now they feel like they maybe need to try to force something.
Query
They're just looking
QWR Hi Mom
Soul as a free
for your
Quibo's still
membership
doing well, and
on
has
YouTube.
they need more, but their
Thank you very much.
waves aren't in the right spots.
Yeah, and FlyQuest is so fast here, so I think they're going to be, even though it hasn't worked for them, I think they're going to continue to try and spread out and push these side waves. If they can sneak anyone up the side, they'll go for it. But this is a window.
I can't believe they recalled for that, though. Like, they literally get the pick off,
They have to kill this.
and you have an opportunity here.
He's here, but Jensen, he can't find the seismic shot. Stoppable.
Money, you probably just gave away soul for free, and you still have to be able to fight through the Nautilus. It's not like there's no one there.
Like,
to
what?
And
Going down anyways. Palafox.
Also, you know, Rumble is clearing out the top wave
like crazy. It's still
instead of just, I mean, they need Rumble at the Drake.
He runs in, sure you have the GA, but now you're dead.
Why is Contracts doing Krugs? Why is he doing Krugs?
Whippo is overforcing like crazy.
Why is he doing Krugs? It's 20 seconds until Soul, and you just got to kill.
But now you're
And then he recalls afterwards.
Bonnie, you probably just gave away soul for free.
Why?
You still have to be able to fight through the Nautilus. It's not like there's no one there to peel.
No!
There. So every inhibitor is up. They had that as a backdoor threat this entire time.
This could still ult into the base potentially, so
I mean,
they have to leave someone.
They have to kill this so fast, and Energy's a little slow checking. I think this could be.
Why?
He's got to go right away.
Oh, nice little
He literally, what is a sigil? He literally just got a sigil. They literally lost Cloud Soul so they could buy like half an item on 3 people.
Energy were so
And do
slow to
Krugs.
show up to that. And now they feel like they
Fuck,
need to
dude.
force something here. Contracts is looking because they know they just gave over that soul as a freebie. Whippo is still dead for a while and has no TP, so they need more, but their minion waves aren't in the right spots.
Yeah, and FlyQuest is so fast here, so I think they're going to be, even though it hasn't worked for them. I think they're
What
gonna
a terrible day to have eyes, guys.
Side waves. If they can sneak anyone up the side, they'll go for it. But this is a window here. Energy has 5 people in the mid lane.
And
They
Baron.
have minions. They have Baron. They got 170 Senna range
Oh
at the
my
moment.
God.
So let's see what they can do.
Luckily, Cloud Soul is not very good on FlyQuest.
Pushing into the base. Mid lane is the siege potential here.
It's good on Renekton. It's like shit on Talia. It's not very good on Poppy either.
Line from Huhi, but Iva overextended himself a little bit. Dawning Shadow to save the day, and they just can't tank through the front line of NRG.
A minute more of Baron. I think they got 3/4 of the turret on that first wave. They should be able to finish the turret here. Inspired got pushed back, so it should be an inhibitor broken here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to step up and take this down. You know, the wave clear not enough. It's getting really dicey here. You can see Busio trying to find an angle for a potential hostile takeover. Inspired looking for a flank around as well. He's going to try to reject someone, and now they're going to look for the fight.
They want it, and Huhi can't get the connection there. This might
Shout out to Inspired and Jensen. Just absolutely putting this team on their backs.
the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to look to try to push for the base. Energy trying to make something happen here while the Baron buff is still active. They only have 30 seconds remaining. Angle for a potential hostile takeover. Inspired looking for a flank around as well. He's going to try to reject someone.
It's a great play by Inspired.
And Huhi can't get the connection there. This
For a flank around as well. He's going to try to reject.
He W's, then E's in, and that blocks the knot hook from going through.
get the connection there. This might have been the
Fucking beautifully played.
They get the Nautilus, they get the front line, and now onto the mid lane.
Yeah, they're going to look to try to push for the base. Energy trying to make something happen here while the Baron buff is still active. They only have 30 seconds remaining. They know the
Whippo.
Nexus is open.
Nice kick from Contract.
How did I come across my job in LCK?
Inspired is gone. Now
Um, I knew that there was an opening for a caster, and I had met the producers of OGN at Worlds, Season 2 Worlds in 2012, and I had been casting with MLG, and so I applied because I knew that they needed a new caster over at OGN.
It's an absolute banger between these two teams fighting tooth and nail.
Torch, if you guys remember the StarCraft 2 player from GSL, and the former caster of OGN with OGN for Korea before I got there was leaving Korea to come back to the States. So he introduced me to the producers.
43 kills.
What a fucking terrible game. Man, I have not left these games with a very good impression of FlyQuest, guys.
Had a huge impact on that final fight, being able to chase down NRG. They made that one a banger. This win guarantees FlyQuest is in the upper bracket of playoffs, so they are now guaranteed top 4 and still the leading candidates to be the #1 seed.
Really fun game.
Tragedy. Tragedy, everybody. Those were some painful ass games.